Not to be popular. It's just I'm inspired by my brother, that Reality Temple's brother, the most powerful voice on the internet, that reality angel snubbing up 7. That's right, brother. I'm calling you out, brother. I'm building you. I'm putting you out there, brother. I'm shouting you out. That's my inspiration.
And my name is Myron. They call me SNIFFY. My name Myron Johnson. They call me SNIFFY. They call me SNIFFY. My cousin is Dr. Umar Johnson. I'm here to give y'all a message. Y'all better leave my cousin alone. That's what y'all better do. My cousin Umar doing good work for y'all. Y'all some stupid ass niggas, man. And y'all ain't getting the man no money. Y'all think because y'all gave my cousin a little money, y'all think y'all own him. Y'all don't own a motherfucker that up in here. And y'all gonna be looking real stupid August the 2020 when my cousin open up that school. He gonna be opening up that school, and them boys gonna be getting educated. He gonna be doing more than y'all dumb ass kids. That was y'all.
Time to check these comments. Okay. What happened in the video? Let's go. Okay. Damn! 20 new comments? Shit. I knew they was gonna like that damn. How could they not? Alright. What the hell? This is the worst piece of shit video I've ever seen in my life. What the fuck? Who the hell are you?
I'm just a random account, and I don't like your fucking videos.
Oh my god, why?
Your fucking videos suck, you little spick. Get off of YouTube. What the fuck off of YouTube? I hate your fucking videos.
But who the hell are you? You don't even have do you have videos?
I don't need videos. I come to your account and make fun of your fucking videos. You fucking spick. You're probably from fucking Mexico. You're from Mexico, aren't you?
You racist bastard.
I don't give a fuck. You're from Mexico. I hate your fucking grandmother, and I hope your fucking dog dies. Your dog's gonna die. Your dog's gonna die. Your dog's gonna die.
I hate these YouTube anonymous nobodies.
And if you try to complain,
shut up.
I'm not gonna shut up, and you're gonna get your account suspended. You think you're cool because you use a fucking good camera? Fuck you.
Don't ever stop.
Man, okay, let me wake up here. Are you serious? Now, you know, when I start off like that, there's something that grinds my gears. I got to get something. I have to knock the dirt off my shoulder. It just, woo! How stupid can we be? Now, look. There are a group of persons, well, actually there are two kinds of people on YouTube. There are those who decide, and it is comfortable, that we show our faces. Here I is, see? Here I is. You can see me very clearly. Then you have the vast majority of persons on YouTube and social media. They decide they are not comfortable showing their faces. And I want to make this perfectly clear. That is all right. That is all right. However, there's a group of persons, they take advantage of the fact that they can hide behind an avatar or a picture, and they decide to be disrespectful and vulgar and nasty. They harass people and all kinds of devilishment, troublemakers, because they can hide behind a picture. There is a reason why people hide behind pictures. And again, for those who are just not comfortable, that's fine. I'm not talking to you. Welcome to the Reality's Temple on Earth. I am your host, Angel Snub7. I welcome you to this house. But all of us who are content creators, and you don't even have to be a content creator, these faceless, cowardly trolls, they run around bothering people because they can hide, because you don't know who they are. And so they make statements and they do things only because they could hide. In fact, the reality is many of us, if it was not for the ability to be anonymous, you would have nothing to say. Back in the day, you could not hide behind a picture. You want to run your mouth, people are going to see who you are. It was very hard to hide and hide yourself. So most folks kept their mouth shut, because if you said the wrong thing, somebody would shut your mouth for you. That was the reality of it. But now we have these cowards, whole lot of cowards who will say and do things simply because they can hide. Now, this is the ironic thing about this, soul brothers and sisters, is that many of these faceless cowards think that you should view them as something valid, view them as though they have some type of credibility. When they make a statement like this, I was just recently called an agent. Matter of fact, I have been called an agent and a spy since I've been on social media for a long, long time. And see, this is the thing about it. I am called an agent and a spy from those who hide their faces. Now, those who are out in the open like myself, I'm trying to remember who called me, somebody that shows their face. I'm trying to remember who called me an agent, who called me a spy. I can't think of nobody. Maybe they have. Maybe one person, maybe so. But most of the time, when you hear or you read these comments, somebody accusing somebody of being an agent or a spy, it's usually from these faceless, cowardly, sissified, yellowback trolls. How are you going to see that? This is the thing that grinds my gears. How are you going to call somebody a troll? I mean, well, yeah, they call me a troll too. But how are you going to call somebody an agent or a spy when we don't know who you are? We don't know what you're about. You can be pretending. Look, these faceless trolls can pretend to be a soul brother, a soul sister, a pink man, a pink woman, a Mexican. They can be anything they want to. They always try to get smart and tell us about their degrees. Well, I've been to school. I'm an English major, and I have 9 businesses. They give us all these pretty stories while they hide behind a picture. You don't have to prove nothing. But now for me, they always ask me, prove this, prove that. Here you are. You can't even prove who you are, hiding behind a picture. How do you have the nerve to ask somebody to do anything when you hide behind a picture? And clearly they don't know what an agent or a spy is. An agent or a spy does whatever they can to fit into the group they are trying to infiltrate. I will say that again. An agent or a spy, or even just a troublemaker, they do what they have to do in order to be accepted by the group they are trying to infiltrate. They do not say and do things to make that group look at them suspicious. How are you going to call me an agent or a spy when it's very clear I'm not with that stuff that you're talking about? Let me remind you, using the Nation of Islam as an example. Back in the day, the National Secretary of the Nation of Islam, John Ali, they found out that he was a government informant. He worked for the government. They did not know because he was a Muslim. All praise due to Allah for the honor of Elijah Muhammad. He created that atmosphere. It was his doing. He started that and put that poison in everybody's head. He was part of that. Well, actually, he saw it. And he began to fan the flames that caused the murder of our brother, the Honorable Malcolm X, Shabazz. He done that. He was never called an agent or a spy. Because an agent or a spy blend in with you, you fool. They agree with everything that you say 100%. Malcolm X, there was a person that worked for the police. His bodyguard, right under his nose. Malcolm did not know. Nobody knew. Gene Roberts. They didn't know. And Gene Roberts said it like this. He said that, he was gung-ho. He was everything that you would want in a believer, in a supporter. And they went for it. This is why it's difficult to expose an agent or a spy, because they are like you. In fact, they are better than you. They are gung-ho. They are the best believer, the best supporter. And again, the ironic thing about this is that Gene Roberts also, after Malcolm X's assassination, this same fella was used to infiltrate the Black Panther Party. But y'all, look, now, so why wasn't John Ali detected? Why wasn't Gene Roberts detected? Because Gene Roberts and John Ali, they were the best believer, the best helper, the best supporter you could ask for. The only way you would know, you would have to investigate, follow them around. You would really have to dig in the dirt. You can't do all that with all the people that join your organization and your groups or whatever. You can't get it. Well, nowadays, you can actually do a record check. But you know how the government is. They can put into those databases false information. Easy for the government, the police department to do. So when you go to these sites looking for information about John Ali, Gene Roberts, they're going to be squeaky clean. You're going to think that you got one of the best followers, best believers, supporters ever. You couldn't ask for better. An agent or a spy is very difficult to detect. But see, y'all have a childish, immature mind. And you call people agents and spies simply because they're not supposed to, they don't agree with what you're talking about. They don't fit into the picture that you're trying to develop. Everybody has a right to their opinion. That does not make them an agent or a spy. Everybody grows up. Everybody's mind is shaped differently. That does not make them an agent or a spy. Just because I agree with you, I'm supposed to be all right. People don't have the right to not like this or not like that. Who the hell are you we supposed to please? You don't dictate what life is about. These people are nothing but, they have slave owner minds. They want people to be robots like they are. I have a right to speak my opinion. I don't call you an agent or a spy. What you calling me an agent or a spy for? And then ask you to prove it. Prove it. You getting paid by the CIA. Prove it. And guess what? If I'm an agent or a spy, please, since you know this, then you please, hey, tell them I need a raise. Dealing with y'all crazy ass silly Negroes, I need more money. You need to put more money. I need a raise dealing with these idiots, especially the faceless ones. And since I'm an agent or a spy, don't you know I could easily find out who you are, hiding and running your mouth behind a picture on YouTube or Facebook? Since I'm an agent or a spy, and the police and the government is my employer, they know they can get the records, they can easily find out who you are. And this is the thing, I'm going to say this in conclusion. Just because you hide behind a picture, just because you hide behind an avatar, and many of you are very confident, you cuss people out, you're vulgar and you're nasty, that does not mean you can't be found. So I'm gonna end this video with a warning, because some of these faceless trolls actually make threats of violence. Some of these trolls really cross the line, and they think because they hide behind a picture, they can't be exposed. It's already happened. It was some Caucasian guy a few years ago. They traced him, found out who he really was, and he lost his job. He lost his job because he thought he was safe because he was hiding his face. I want you to think about that. So, not only that, you're going to mess with the wrong person, and they're going to find out who you are, and you think that UPS or Amazon or the post service is knocking at your door. It could be that person you cussed out or you made a threat. Now they knocking at your door. So I'm warning y'all. Keep the dumb stuff up. Again, those who act like adults, you are civil, and you just on here just using the service. That's fine. I understand why you would not be comfortable, because this is a mess out here in YouTube land, on social media. But I'm warning those who want to cross that line. You keep it up.
Free your mind.
Having technical difficulties already, which is expected, but we're going to try to make it through this one. I hope that your morning, or is it afternoon? It's still morning. Morning Central Time. I hope that your morning begins in a peaceful manner. I hope that you, what up there? The best, Ed, the best. Glad to see you. Glad to see you. Yeah. Hope everything is all peaceful for the time being. We live in a situation where our peace can be broken at any moment, and what was once peaceful can become extremely violent. The descendants of slaves born in America having dark skin, we have lived with violence going on 500 years. Everything about us, our lives, is embedded in violence. Hey, Umar, I'm back. What's up? What's up, brother Cope? Yeah. Um, like I said, technical difficulties already, but we're gonna try to get through this one. You know, look. I don't know about you. I wake up angry all the time. I don't like the situation I was born in. I don't like it. That's why I decided at a young age, I refused. I said I would never have children because I did not want my children coming into this mess. I wake up angry. I wake up angry because as a man, I'm not surrounded by men. I know this. The so-called black man, soul brothers, I am shamed. Brother Coke, I'm shamed to be a black man. I'm shamed to be a soul brother. We are part of a gender that is so pathetic. A bunch of cowards and weasels. I've never been around so-called men like this. I know the title probably tricks some of these guys because they see some of these women haters, they see the title and they really believe that I'm going to jump on the sisters because they need to understand something because they are the people, because they are the mothers. They are our first teachers. They are the most important when building a new reality or nation. Yeah, 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 we having technical difficulties. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere almost and having technical difficulties. But I do agree with my brother Dope Coke. I've never been around such emotional guys. They get so upset because things don't go their way. You want things to go your way, and you're leading yourself to nowhere. Where you going? Why you want things your way? To do what? If you look at what they want, nobody in their right mind will want to go there. So the topic that I've chosen is black women fail to produce real men. I did not say single mothers. I did not say, I'm going to say this again. I did not say single mothers. I did not say single black mothers, single soul sisters fail to produce men, real men. I am saying that black women, period. Your mama, my mama, I don't care who you think you are. I don't care how successful you believe you are. Black women have failed to produce real men. Just the fact that we are living with racists show you that we're not among real men. That in itself tells you what the deal is. But don't get angry with me, sister, and don't blame yourself. Don't blame yourself. It's no fault of your own. Matter of fact, we should not blame ourselves at all. We was put in a condition. If the black woman or soul sisters could produce a real man, how could we be slaves? How could our ancestors be slaves 400 years? And you're still not doing good right now to this day. A real man refuses to be a slave. You cannot make a slave out of a real man. You have to take somebody and break them down to the point where their very nature of manhood is destroyed in order for them to become a slave. And this is what was done. In fact, we are the product of that. The original slaves were broke down, and we are the children. We are the children of those who were broken. So this means that this means we never was men and women to begin with. We never were men, we never were women, because a real woman, a real man, you cannot make a slave out of for 400 years. For 400 years, you can't do it. We are the children of those who were broken, and we are like generations from the original ones that was broken. So we don't know nothing about manhood. We don't know nothing about womanhood. Was broken. Now, there are many reasons of why homosexuality, but at the foundation, the root of homosexual behavior is that the very nature of what makes you a human being has been broken. Your nature to be a woman, your nature to be a man was broken. That's the only way you can become a slave. And then somebody else, your massa, put into you what they want you to have. They don't tell you, there's no need for you to be a man. There's no need for you to be a woman when you are a slave. The only thing you need to do is come together, reproduce some more slaves. Because a man and a woman have responsibility. A slave don't have responsibility, my friend. And we live like this for hundreds of years. Your nature was destroyed. Matter of fact, you never had none. You out here pretending to be a human being, pretending to be a man, pretending to be a woman, based on the little things, the influence that you get from your slave master. And these books, Quran and Bible. You need a book written by another man to tell you what a man's supposed to be, what a woman's supposed to be. Being a man, being a woman is natural. A woman cannot teach a little girl how to be a woman. A man cannot teach a boy how to be a man. This is supposed to be natural. This is supposed to be natural. The only thing that you can do in society is tell that little girl what is expected of her in society. That little boy, you tell them what is expected of a man in society. That's why it's called manhood, womanhood. You put a hood over something that is natural, and you tell your children in that society, this is what we expect from our women, this is what we expect from our men. But no man can teach a boy how to be a man. It's supposed to be natural unless you were a slave, unless your nature was destroyed. So if your nature was destroyed, you should not be shocked that you have a rise in homosexual behavior. You have confusion because your nature has been destroyed, and you have not even been through a process of manhood or womanhood. In primitive societies, they teach their children, the male and the female, what is expected of them. If you remember the story of Roots, remember Kunta Kinte had to go through what was called manhood training. He was already a man. He understood that. But they took him and all the boys and gave them manhood training to show them what is expected of them in that tribe. And also teach other little man type of things. The same thing with women. Women get the young girls and teach the young girls what is expected of them in that society. But when you are a slave, nothing is expected of you. There is no need for you to have a nature of being a man or woman. You cannot make a slave out of a man. You cannot make a slave out of a woman, because they will always be rebellious against those who are trying to control their nature. Okay? You can't do it. The nature has to be destroyed. Your humanity has to be destroyed. So in order for the sisters, whether she is a single mother or whether she's a married woman, makes no difference. In order for her to produce a real man, she must become a woman first. Her nature as a woman must be restored. Because the only thing a slave can produce is a slave. We have never had a man. We have never had a woman. And a slave can only produce a slave. So in 2019, we drive fancy cars and we can vote and we can holler black power and all this kind of good stuff. But we're slaves. We live in a slave condition. We don't act like free people. We don't have our nature. That's why we can be anything. We homosexual, transgender, bisexual, intersexual, cisexual, all the sexuals, whatever. We are confused and we're messed up. That's the only thing we've ever known. A slave life is the only thing we've ever known. We've never known. How can you talk about being a man when you never had an example of a man and you've never been that? You can only guess. You can only guess. Just because you have a penis don't make you a man. Just because you have a vagina don't make you a woman. Your nature has been destroyed. Your very humanity has been destroyed. And you know it. And so you blame each other. This black man blames the black. He's a sissy. It's because of black women. I don't have nothing. So you fight among one another. And the reason why you fight among one another is because you're a damn slave. And a slave does not rebel against his or her massa. You blame everybody except your massa. So in order for this soul sister to produce a real man, she must be restored to her nature. The male must be restored to her nature. Not going to be able to do it because it starts in the womb. When that sister has the right thoughts, when that woman has her humanity restored, it begins in the womb itself. That's where the restoration of your humanity begins, to bring that woman back to her humanity. So how are we going to do this? So how are we going to do this? We have to give up all the things that we think that we know and start from scratch. Because clearly that's not making the grade. It's not making the grade. You have to start all over from scratch. Because in your DNA, it's there. But what's stopping you is that you're clouding your brain. You're clouding yourself with all these manufactured ideas of what you think a man and a woman is, including those Nation of Islam teachings, including that religious stuff. You got to move it out the way so your mind can open up and restore itself, so it can heal itself. Those things, if they were worth anything, you would be in a better position, but you're not. Make you feel good, make you feel like a man, make you feel like a woman, but you're not. If you think it's butter, it's chiffon. That's what it is. We know that the black woman, the soul sister, has not produced and is not producing real men because no man wants to live in another house with another man. I want my own house. I want my own country. I want to do my own thing. You lay around here, no matter how much money you got, no matter how successful you are, you want to lay around and be under the laws and the jurisdiction of another man. This in itself is a bad influence on the woman, because that woman does not see you as a provider. She does not see you as a protector. She's living in the house of another man. Should she respect you? Because you get your bread and butter from another man. She can go to the same source and get bread and butter the same way you can. So what's special about your happy so-called man ass? You living with racists. No real man want to live with another man. That's why you see in nature, most animals, most males, they are to themselves. They don't want other males in their house with them. You got to go get your own. They're not sharing nothing. These are my women. You can't have her. See, this is what you have to understand. This is my woman. I don't want her to be around you. She's too good for you. But y'all lay around here and you got her living with. It's your fault. It's our fault as supposed to be men. All your complaints that you have about these women, if you did not have them as a man living in the house with other men, then she would not be able to do, and she would not do what you accuse her of doing. You keep talking about older feminism, older feminism this, older feminism that. If you did not have her living with the feminists, then you wouldn't have nothing to worry about. You wouldn't have nothing to complain about. It's your damn fault. She should not be living with racists. Now check this out. And I want to say this in the defense of us as brothers to a certain point here. Now you have men from Mexico, men from Asia, men from Africa. They come here, men from Venezuela, Honduras, or whatever. They come here to America. And you know, we feel bad. We feel bad because they always tell us, y'all been here for all this time and you have not done nothing. Look what we have done. That sounds good, don't it? You know, you can come from China, you can come from Honduras, you can come from Africa, you can come from the islands, and these people come here. You can come from Korea. It makes you feel bad, make you look bad, don't it? Don't it? Makes you feel bad, don't it? Because these people come here and they talk about, look what they do. Let me tell y'all something. And this is the reality of it. This is the reality. Now, it's cool. I mean, it does look great. It looks great that these people come here and it seems like in no time they are successful. But guess what? The people that come here, the men and the women, these immigrants or aliens or whatever the hell they want to be called, whatever you want to call them, these people are broken people from their country. They are the weak ones. They were unable to do anything and be successful in their own country where they have land. They never been a slave. They have land. They have their own currency. They could not make it. They are the weak. They are the pathetic. So they come here. So they come here to the house of another man to take care of them. So you look at them as successful, but in reality, they are broken and weak people, unable to take care of themselves. They had to run to the house of another man in order they did not have the power, the will. They were not man and woman enough to stay in their own country and clean up their own damn mess. So there was a bunch of cowards, weak, and ran somewhere else. They never were slaves. Then they have the nerve to come here and tell soul brothers and sisters what we should and should not do and how we fail. These pathetic pieces of trash. They come here and they are under the control and the rule of another man. So the Koreans are successful. The Hondurans are successful. The Africans are successful. So you say they are under the control of a racist. And the little money they make makes them feel good. but they are not men and women, just like we aren't, living in the house of another man. Too pathetic, a bunch of losers to make it in your own country. They never been through what we've been through as a people for hundreds of years. You cannot compare them to us. And we do very well considering the hell that we go through going on 500 years. So I'm not impressed by them. When they bring that crap to me, I shut them down. You should not let people use them as some example for us, because they are not an example. Those people are weak. You don't want to be weak like that.
Free your mind.
Back in the day, like I said, I did the same thing. I do not care nothing about voting. I have not voted in my life. I would be happy to vote. I would be happy to vote if I found somebody that I thought was worthy of that vote, and I thought that voting would be effective. I would do that. But other than that, I'm cool. Whoever you want to vote for, and they win, whatever you do, whatever laws you want to put down, I'll roll with it. I don't care. Because you're in a situation where you're between a rock and a hard place. You know, either you're voting for the devil or you're voting for Satan. That's the reality of it. Now, of course, many of you will get angry and upset. You should still vote because your vote means something. Your vote means nothing if it's not effective. Now, the Mississippi campaign, which comes from here, depends upon voting. So clearly, I don't have a problem with voting, because whatever tool that your enemy gives you, you should use that tool. Whether it's buying guns, getting legal firearms, voting, whatever your enemy gives you, you need to take advantage of that. So in order to pull off the Mississippi campaign depends upon voting. So clearly I don't have nothing against voting. What I have a problem is voting in an effective manner. You must vote in an effective manner. Also, when you vote, you should have some type of agenda. So we come to these candidates right now, and what do you want? What is the purpose? What do you want them to do for you? The primary thing and the reality is, what are you going to do for them? That's what they want to know. What they said, one hand washes the other. Voting for many dark-skinned people in this nation is nothing but feel-good rhetoric. It's just like going to church. Child, I'm going to hear the Lord. I'm going to hear the Lord. Child, I'm going to vote today. I'm going to pull that lever. I'm voting for the Democrats. Feel-good rhetoric. You want to feel good about, you want to believe that you're part of something. The reality is, especially now on local or state government, your voting is more effective. But for the presidency of the United States, it's the electoral college that determines the president. The popular vote does not mean anything. Donald Trump won the presidency by the electoral college. And the electoral college was created a long time ago because at that particular time, the forefathers understood that the masses or the citizens of this nation were illiterates. They did not view them smart enough to vote for a president. So that's why you have the Electoral College. The popular vote is to give the citizens the facade, the belief that they are participating in something that they're not. So you can have the popular vote. The president is elected by the Electoral College. Now, those who are part of the Electoral College can take consideration what the popular, those who, those votes that the popular vote is directed towards, but they don't have to, because y'all not smart enough to pick the president of the United States. And then once you do vote, the majority of you go vote, but then you sit on your ass, and that's it. I vote just like you do when you go to church. You don't act out the principles of your faith. You go there, hoop and holler, praise the Lord, and you do nothing active in order to change the condition or make your environment Christ-like. You do nothing to change the condition of your community. You vote and you put it in the hands of your leaders and you sit on your ass. And that's why your leaders don't do nothing, because there's nothing around to keep them or hold them responsible for the promises they made to the public. This is why I voted for you, because you would do this, you would do that. And then you wonder, these politicians don't do nothing. Well, it's you're supposed to follow up behind your vote. And you don't do that. You don't follow up behind your vote. Voting for many dark-skinned people in this nation is nothing but more feel-good rhetoric. I voted. I hear you all the time. I'm a Democrat. I'm a Republican. And y'all have all these sophisticated talks, and you throw these words around. I'm a liberal and I'm a semi-conservative, and y'all like talking all that good stuff. But you change nothing. Just like in the Black conscious community. All this research, we got the information. We have the supreme wisdom. But when you look at those people as a human being, you don't see any type of change. You don't see them as good human beings. They're profane, vile, disrespectful, arrogant, pompous, and their communities and the environment that they are in, and you have thousands of these people, and they change nothing. So you have all of us out here voting, whether you vote for Trump or whether you voted for Hillary Clinton or whoever, you don't see no change because you don't hold nobody responsible for nothing. Even your dark-skinned people, once they get into office, they looking out for themselves, like all the other politicians. I'm very sure there were persons who decided to become part of government, and they actually did want to try to do something. In fact, I believe that Obama, perhaps he wanted to actually really try to do something to help this nation. But once you get into that system, you're going to find out that it is run by what they say, the good old boys club. And if you mess with the good old boys, you might be driving down in a limousine in Dallas, Texas. And when you come around a corner, next thing you know, half of your brain is blown out. Because you didn't want to play the game of the good old boys. And of course, you don't want to get your brains blown out. You can be president of the United States. If somebody really want to get you, they can get you. I don't care how much Secret Service. Like they say, where there's a will, there's a way. And Obama said, I don't have time to be standing at a podium. Next thing you know, half of my head is blown off. This is, you think that it's a game. This is serious business. Because you have corporations, you have you vote in a manner certain people don't like. and they would turn to violence, you end up dead. There are people who were part of unions who wanted to try to get, get better money, get better pay, and different things for the workers, and those who were leading these unions end up dead. So, when you really talk about voting, when you really talk about change in a corrupt world, you can't just vote and sit on your ass, because there are forces to keep things just the way they are. So don't tell me about voting if you're not really serious. And if we as dark-skinned people, if the only thing we're going to do is we don't have an agenda and everybody just vote any kind of way they want to, it's a waste of time. We have an agenda, and you don't have to have everybody on board, because all these idiots is not going to do it, but you have a good majority. We vote all the same way, support the same agenda, and then don't sit back in the cut and wait for somebody to do. You have to hold our people responsible, and then maybe perhaps you can get something done. Until then, it's just more voting, is just more church going rhetoric, feel good rhetoric. The politician that ain't nothing but a pastor. And the Lord shall, and we're gonna make a change. Obama was a pastor, and this was his flock. Feel good rhetoric. So I don't mind voting if it's effective. But what's the sense of throwing a punch and you can't hurt the person that you throwing the punch at? Makes no sense to me. Anyway, jot down your comments. Let's talk about it. Till next time, y'all. Peace.